Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Is there anything more intoxicating in professional sport than the rise of the underdog? The quiet figure who slips through the cracks while everyone else is busy watching the stars? The kind of player who doesn't announce himself with fireworks, but with a slow, relentless knocking that eventually becomes impossible to ignore. That's the question humming beneath the surface as we turn our attention to the Toronto Blue Jays today, right here on the Blue Jays Report. Because buried beneath contracts, reputations, and crowded depth charts may be the answer to a problem that could define the 2026 season. As spring training approaches, Dunedin doesn't just feel warm, it feels restless. The Blue Jays outfield, on paper, looks stuffed to the rafters. Names spill off the page like an overcrowded waiting room. Dalton Varsho with his defensive brilliance, Anthony Santander with his theoretical power, and a supporting cast that includes Miles Straw, Addison Barger, Nathan Lukes, Davis Schneider, Jonathan Clace, Joey Loperfido, and more. It's depth, yes, but it's also pressure. In systems like this, young players usually suffocate long before they surface. And yet, every so often, one refuses to disappear. One player refuses to stay quiet. A name that didn't arrive with hype or headlines, but is now rattling the door hard enough to make the front office flinch. RJ Shrek. Remember that name because it may soon be written in pen rather than pencil. To understand why this matters, we need to rewind to a trade that barely registered emotionally at the time. The 2024 deadline deal that sent Justin Turner to Seattle felt procedural, almost forgettable. A veteran moved on, salary adjusted, page turned. Coming back was a ninth-round pick from Vanderbilt, a player most fans didn't Google twice. But baseball has a wicked sense of irony, and hindsight has a way of sharpening the picture. Before that trade, Shrek was already hitting with authority, tearing through high-A pitching with an OPS north of .860 and launching home runs with a calm, unbothered violence. Toronto's scouts didn't see a throw-in. They saw balance, plate control, and mechanical efficiency that whispered big league potential. When he reached AA New Hampshire, the whisper turned into a statement. An .898 OPS in just under a month was the appetizer. What followed was a full-course meal. By early 2025, Shrek wasn't knocking anymore. He was kicking doors off hinges. 9 home runs in 41 games, a .194 OPS, and an air of inevitability that demanded promotion. Buffalo was supposed to slow him down. Instead, it validated him. Against sharper pitching and fewer mistakes, he held his own, finishing the year with an .828 OPS and proving he belonged in the conversation. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, take a moment to like the video, share it with fellow Jays fans, and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report so you don't miss what comes next. Now here's where the tension tightens. Shrek enters 2026 as a non-roster invitee. A guest, a man without a chair in a room full of egos and guaranteed money. But spring training is theater. Jobs are won in whispers and lost in a single bad week. Shrek isn't arriving to observe, he's arriving to challenge the hierarchy. His situation mirrors a ghost the fan base knows all too well. Alan Roden, the disciplined hitter who forced his way onto the roster with a ridiculous spring, only to struggle initially and be flipped in a win-now panic. Shrek walks the same tightrope, armed with a discerning eye, legitimate power, and an on-base profile that analytics departments adore. The difference is timing, and timing in baseball is everything. Anthony Santander was brought in to be a difference maker, the bat that tilted games. But when big acquisitions fail to move the needle, they create a vacuum, one that depth alone cannot fill. Combine that with Varsho's injury history, and suddenly this crowded outfield looks fragile. Availability, as ever, is the best ability. The numbers strengthen the argument. A 166 WRC plus in AA, a 129 mark in AAA. That isn't noise. League average is 100. Shrek wasn't just better, he was meaningfully better. At 25, he isn't a project, he's formed, polished, waiting. The skepticism is understandable. We've all seen minor league mashers crumble under major league breaking balls, but Shrek's discipline suggests translation, not illusion. He grinds, he walks, he exhausts pitchers. Those skills don't evaporate under bright lights. Now imagine this scenario. Spring training games begin. Veterans ramp up slowly. Shrek comes out swinging, posting an OPS north of 1.00. Suddenly, contracts mean less than results. You cannot justify burying production because of sunk costs. That's how you lose games. Worse, that's how you lose clubhouses. Zoom out further and the picture sharpens. 2026 isn't just another season, it's a bridge. Springer and Varsho inch closer to the ends of their deals. Santander's future may lie at designated hitter. By 2027, the outfield could look entirely different. Shrek isn't just fighting for April at-bats, he's auditioning for the future. But baseball is ruthless. If the path is blocked, Shrek could become currency, a Rodin-style trade chip to fuel another playoff run. This year defines him. Break out and force the issue, or risk being labeled organizational depth forever. So here we are, a familiar dilemma. Trust veterans to rebound, or let hunger take the wheel. RJ Shrek represents that hunger, the kind that unsettles complacency. Watch his at-bats this spring. Watch the calm, because by mid-season, he may be the most unexpected answer the Blue Jays didn't know they were asking for. Now, I want to hear from you. If Shrek lights up spring training, do you make room or do you cash in? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you're ready for baseball's return, and stay locked in to the Blue Jays Report. This outfield story is only just beginning.